grab your favorite beverage, kick up your feet as you ascend with me into the joy portal of soul reflections, fresh perspectives, fun ideas, and wisdom. Light to light and heart to heart. Smile and breathe even deeper as together we will soar above the perception of all hurdles and shine brightly as the light we are. Namaste, everyone, and welcome to Light, Laughter, and Lattes. My name is Geri Habstritt. I'm an Avesa quantum healer, medical intuitive, self-ascension intuitive counselor, and your friend and soul connection for Light, Laughter, and Lattes. So welcome, everyone. If you are listening to this via Oneness Talk Radio Facebook or YouTube, the chat is open. Jump in and say hi. We love to have you join the show. And we have our call board open today, so you are welcome to call in. And you may want to do that. I have a great guest today. Also, if you are listening to this via podcast on Spotify or any other of the outlets, you can catch this show live on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And so we would love to come and have you join us live. So today our topic is about living your empowered life. And it is a timely topic. And I am so excited that I have a guest who specializes in that. She is a podcaster, an author, a speaker, and she does healing and transformational work with people to help them live an empowered life. And I don't know about you, but we are here to do just that. And as a medical intuitive, all the organs in our body were literally designed for us to live our soul song, to live our dream, to live our passion, and to do this in an empowered way. And so today I have my co-host or my guest, Susan Burrell, who just wrote a book on the topic. And I'm going to bring her in right now. Welcome, Susan.
Hi, Geri. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And I want to start because there's something that you had said in your bio that really struck me. And I think it's important. I think it's someone that would strike a lot of people. And it says, Susan has navigated life by listening within to that urge that keeps pointing her in the direction of her life's purpose, even when she can't see the road. And I think this is a big one for everyone because we can't see the road. So then what's left? There's the mind that chatters. There's the heart that tries to lead. There's lack of clarity. Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? So how have you navigated this?
Well, that's a really good question. A part of it is I had to learn how to live my life intuitively, which when I was younger, that was all squished and squashed, which happens to many of us as children, And so I had to learn how to live my life intuitively. And how that happened is having gone through a very contentious divorce that shattered my heart. And what I realized, shattered my heart. And that's when I realized that I had such a protection built up over so many years of living life. And in the breaking up of all of that, then I could see my true essence. Does that make sense? That divine spark of light. That's what I say all the time, that I am, and that everybody is. We just all have a little degree of shift in who we are. So we can all be unique individuals. And once that happened, then I was really, really, really able to live my life from the inside out, learning to love myself more than I ever had, respecting myself, and building a foundation that holds me in a strong feeling tone of empowerment.
So were you a completely different person when you before you were married, and then you discovered this person through the divorce, or have you always been an aspect of this and you just empowered yourself more through the pain that you went through?
Oh, wow. I think it's more the latter. I did not know who I was. I didn't know who I was when at age 25, I thought it would be a great idea to get married, and hadn't defined myself, hadn't had enough life experience to define myself. And yet was a spiritual quester.
Mhm.
And that's how I've always been since like my late teens. But I wasn't listening. I had stopped listening to my inner voice, my inner source. I was thinking, I was looking at everything outside of me and having that reflect to me or define me. And so I wasn't being true to myself at
Mm.
all. And then because of the divorce and all the stuff that I had to go through, I started reclaiming parts of myself. So like I often see that shattered heart, like I've said this before, like a kaleidoscope that's just cracked open and all those pieces are on the ground. And then I can pick up the pieces one at a time and go, ooh, do I want this? I don't know. Oh, that's kind of pretty. But no, I don't want to be that anymore. So I got to find, I developed a greater sense of freedom. And those became my watchwords during the divorce. I wanted to be free. I wanted to be happy, and I wanted to love myself more than I ever had. And in order to do those things, I had to do deep inner work. And I'm talking about journaling. I mean, I'm a journaler from way back, right? But not about, here's my day, but basically here's the crap in my head and what do I do with it? And then sometimes finding answers, sometimes not. But also stuff would happen during the course of going through multiple pieces of documentation for the lawyers. And I would be caught in a spasm of dizziness. Or I actually broke out in hives for a year during this process of divorce because I was so enraged. I had never really expressed my emotions. So conversely, it's like, well, was I really expressing all the love that I was, right? I wasn't expressing the rage, the anger, wasn't expressing the shame or the guilt. It's just like, let's just keep a tight lid on all of it. And
Mhm.
and that sure is like a lousy way to live a life.
Mm. Yeah. Well, and as a medical intuitive, that's the cause of 90% of our pain.
Yeah.
Every
And then
organ.
disease.
Yeah, absolutely. Our issues are in our tissues. So
Mm-hmm.
every one of those, you know, anger, doubt, guilt, shame, all of that unforgiveness, it has a spot in our organs, and they all have messages that come along with it. So yeah, I don't know why, maybe it might be better now, but years back, it wasn't okay to show all that, to show all those emotions. And even now, there's times where I know that these emotions have to go. I know what's going to happen to me if I hold on to them. So what do? If you live in an apartment, you can't just scream bloody murder. Someone will call the cops on you, right? So my tool is I go in my car and I turn on the music and I find a place where I don't have to worry about making turns or stop signs or anything like that. And I just scream, scream, scream it out. And that's the only place I can find to do that. And there's other ways. Certainly there's punching bags if you can, go to a gym or whatever. But the voice,
Mine was my pillow, it just
there
got
you
to
go.
where if I didn't break through that rage, I was going to be stuck in hives for the rest of my life. It seemed like if I didn't break through that shame, I actually, what happened when I realized that I was feeling ashamed, uh, about whatever was the reason why I was getting to, who knows at that point, right?
Mhm.
I caught myself and I said, all right, then we're going to sit down. And I do a lot of guided meditations that just kind of channel through me. And so I sat down with myself. I did the work and I sat down with myself and I leaned into the shame and I saw myself in a room where the walls were just covered with the sticky muck and the corners and the everything. And then I just used love from within me to clear the walls and clear everything down to the last little piddly drop of that particular shame bucket. And it took me 15 minutes, felt tons better, and those emotions still will creep up, the anger, the shame, the bitterness, the guilt, and my I am always on a daily basis in my personal practice, working those pieces through. And either like you said, getting in your car and screaming. I do a lot of deep sound, ahs,
Totally.
that, trying to pull it up from the bottom of my pelvic floor all the way up out of me, vocalizing with it. You don't even have to say anything, but just the vocalization of it will break up the energy system that's keeping stuff stuck, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So you were on another journey pre-divorce. You weren't a self-empowerment coach per se. You were what were you doing then?
I've been teaching spiritual principle and metaphysics and how to be self-responsible and shift your belief systems and the law of circulation and all of that. I've been teaching that for over 25 years. So when I went into divorce, I became my best student. It was like, oh, here we go again. I got to do all that work that I've been doing, but we got to go deeper and deeper. And consequently, what I found personally, which is why I call my life a journey, is that every step of the way, I've got to dig deeper, because the well is always replenishing, right? The well within us. And do I want it to replenish with love and self-compassion and divine wisdom, or do I want it to replenish with anger and bitterness and fear and a lot? And currently, Geri, the last couple of years, or more, could be last couple of eons, we are, each and every one of us on the planet, not just a few, but many of us are being faced with, what is it that I am? What is the water in my body soaking up and expressing? And if it's anger and fear, you're going to replicate that into every cell, right? But and I've been focusing specifically on this personally for the last 8 months, to heal my body of I'm a type 1 diabetic. And I decided enough is enough. And we're going to see how deep I can go to up level and to dig out paradigms and belief systems and toxic ancestral stuff that I took on being an intuitive, right? I think we all are intuitive, but so I focus on filling my cells with the vibration of love. I do it 3 or 4 times a week, to be honest. I should do it every day, but I don't. And I see those cells multiplying in a frequency of love and not in whatever was in them before. And I've used it for organs in my body, like my heart and my liver and stuff like that. So it's easy to do. I mean, anybody can do that kind of stuff. You don't have to wait for permission.
Right. No, you just need to be conscious, right?
Right.
First of all, conscious that you're a creator. That's the
Yes.
first thing we need to be conscious of, and that we've created everything in our life. There's not a thing that we haven't. Well, we're co-creators, so they're co-conspirators that add to things. So not necessarily everything, but everything in our bodies is something that we've created, either through our unconscious, or through our consciousness, either way. And so though that's hard to hear sometimes, like, what, I created this cancer? No, no. But once you know that, how empowering. Well, if I created it, I can uncreate it, right?
Exactly.
I'm not
Exactly.
a victim of circumstances or life or lineage or genetics or any of that. You've got all the power in your hands to heal yourself and mold your life the way you want.
This
And though
is the
that sounds easy, it's not necessarily that easy.
Right. And this is the thing that I have believed for 20 years. I see, people are going to, oh, I hope your people don't mind this, Geri. I don't believe in germs.
Uh-huh.
I don't believe
Yeah.
that things are contagious.
Mm-hmm.
It is the belief that things are contagious that create the contagion.
Right.
So it's not just a pandemic that's contagious. It's fear that's contagious. It's
Right.
racism that's contagious. It's anger that's contagious.
Right.
And again, on the converse side, it's love that's contagious, and joy and happiness.
Right.
And also prosperity is contagious.
Absolutely.
It's not that somebody has a lot of money and I don't got any, and poor me, which I used to live in my early 20s, that victim idea that everybody's got something I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to really work hard at that, because I believe that there's more than enough for everyone. More
Mm-hmm.
money, more health, more love, more happiness. If we are, like you're talking about, Geri, if we're consciously aware of how we participate with universal principles and the law of circulation, and if you're sending out even in a passing by, if you're sending out one thought, you have to watch this stuff, man. If you send out one negative thought towards somebody, oh, well, that was stupid what she's wearing, why is she wearing that? It rebounds. Everything is a mirror that comes
Yeah.
back to us. And so our choice point is always, do I want to be love and kindness, or do I want to be what I think I'm seeing in the world, which is anger and fear and doubt and
Mm-hmm.
scary, scary stuff? I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be that.
Absolutely. And a good test per se, if any of you want to go out there and test what Susan just said. I do this often. I'm a substitute teacher as well as doing the medical intuitive work. Love being with kids, and they bring me a great balance. And so even if you sit inside, like for example, I did this today. Um, I find something about them that I'm extremely thankful for, and really just a thought of really gratitude. So now I've created literally a portal of gratitude around me. Um, every single student that left the room today thanked me for being there.
Oh, see,
And
that's the demonstration of the work that you do.
right. And it works for anyone. If you're feeling grumbly, find something to feel good about, something to be thankful for, something, whatever. And when you go out in that world, it'll be mirrored back to you. And not only is that reassurance that, hey, I'm a creator, I'm doing this, I can change it. Um, it's a lovely way to go out in the world and have people mirror back the gratitude you've given to yourself, or the love that you've given to yourself. Or
One of the things,
the joy.
the
When
joy.
yeah, that is the biggest thing for me. There's times where I get my greatest joy in dancing. And when I'm in great joy dancing, that ignites other people to find their joy as well. And it's so important right now when the planetary thought body is getting thicker and heavier and more fear and more dense to get out and do those things.
I would agree. Absolutely. One of my practices during this pandemic uh, was to see with the eyes of love, just like filling my cells with love, to create an atmosphere of love around me. And I would tell myself, love precedes me everywhere I go. I live and move in an atmosphere of love. And then going out like to the market where everybody at the beginning, especially, everybody was afraid to even get in the wrong lane. Now nobody cares. I'm in California. Everybody's still wearing their masks, but nobody cares if you're on one side of the aisle or the other. That it's getting, I don't know, more, I
We're
don't
getting
know.
used to it.
Right, I guess. But that that's always an interesting practice, because I know that there's at least one or two people in that atmosphere of love that I invoke and move in, that I can also share that love with, and not worry that, even without saying a word, right? Sometimes we can
Absolutely.
just look at each other and we get the message.
Yeah, no, you don't need to say a word. It's your energy. It's
Mhm.
the energy that we emanate. And so, yeah, a lot of times it's best to say nothing and to just smile. So,
Right.
so share with some of the listeners, um, what does it mean to you to live an empowered life?
Well, like I said earlier, for me, it is an ongoing process. It's an ongoing journey. For me, it means self-worth, loving myself more than I ever have. And I've become now really aware when I'm not doing that. When I'm either, if I become exhausted, I'm like, wow, what were you weren't paying attention to yourself. You weren't listening. You needed to go take a nap, and instead of an extra cup of coffee. But also, building my inner foundation on pillars or principles that keep that foundation strong. And I've said a few, love for sure. My bigger one is integrity. When I step one like millisecond meter thing out of integrity, the universe comes right in and says, nope, nope. And here's why. So finding what your inner foundation is, or for the four pillars to hold that foundation. Like I said, love, integrity, freedom, and happiness are mine right now. But I constantly have to go back in and reinvestigate. So it's not like you get to have a magic pill or book that says, "Oh, now you're empowered," or even a degree, in oh, I did this program and now I'm empowered. No, it's I really believe, Geri, that we as souls are here on planet Earth to learn. And as we learn, we give back to the greater good, or we give back to the higher realms. We give back to source energy as we grow our consciousness, as we shift out of the small, lower vibrations of pettiness and fear and anger. And we continue to strive to be aligned with the higher vibrations of love, forgiveness, peace, which are all in us. I mean, we got the anger and we got all the niggy nuggy stuff, but we also have the good stuff inside us. We came fully encoded and loaded with that stuff. So as long as we keep our attention on resetting, realigning, because we're always going to go off key, off kilter, right? That to me is empowerment. Recognizing, wow, I stepped out of integrity, or wow, I really didn't need to say that mean thing to that person, or think it, or whatever, and bring ourselves back into a fuller alignment with a high frequency of love. That's empowerment to me. And it's simple to do. You just have to be consciously aware. And the other piece is, you got to be willing to face your demons, right? You got to be willing to face the stuff that you think is hidden, except a lot of people see it anyway. But the stuff that you think is all the bad parts of you, you've got to be able to face them, and then you can love them and accept them and embrace those bad parts, because it takes both sides to make a whole, right? It takes embracing the darkness and loving the lightness and allowing them both to interact, because that's the fullness of human existence. If we were all supposed to be just love and light, we wouldn't even be on planet Earth.
I think the hardest thing any of us will ever do is be able to really look at ourselves,
Oh,
to
yeah.
really to look in the mirror and love everything. Love what you haven't done, love what you have done, love who you are, love who you aren't. and just to keep looking and keep loving. It's a journey for me daily. I still do it. It's been nonstop for me for years. Even as I work with clients, I'm still having to run to the mirror and You know, if your goal, and mine is life is a spiral, you can spiral laterally and keep going through the same things over and over and over again with different backgrounds, different people, different players, or you can spiral up. And when you spiral up, your life changes and you still go through some of the same things, but it gets lighter and less and less and less. But that takes constant attention,
It also
constant
takes courage.
Absolutely.
And more people would rather be a couch potato than stand in courage. And we're seeing a lot more people stepping into courage and speaking up. But it takes a lot of courage to face yourself and forgive yourself and allow yourself to awaken more. And the beauty of it is the more I become even more awake, the more rich my life becomes. It's just gets so wonderfully rich. And so, Geri, you know, I have a book,
Okay.
Live Your Empowered Life, a 30-day journey book, but I also created inspirational cards to go with it. And these are cards that full of affirmations that I worked while I was going through divorce. And so before I interview with anybody, I always pull a card, and this is what I pulled, and it speaks to what we're talking about.
Okay.
Can I read it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Today I have the courage to face my life and live it from a deeper place of connection and love.
Nice. Absolutely goes with today.
Absolutely. And to me, that's empowerment.
That
Living
is
connected and having the courage to continue to take the next step and the next step.
to keep saying yes to yourself.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
To your heart and to your dreams. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
We have just like a couple minutes left. Do you want to share with everyone a little bit about your book?
Yeah. So it was it's a book that came out of my journey through divorce and all the things I had to do. So I did a lot of journaling. Like I said, I did some guided meditations. I did affirmations, and the book is interactive. It's not you just get to read it and say, oh, here's my kernel. It's a workbook. And so
Nice.
it's a daily journey. Some days are lighter than others. And some I really believe if you're here, you got to do the work. So I also then guide people by having it interact with my website. So that's where you find you have a day where you watch the video of tapping, of how to do emotional freedom technique, or you watch the video that has a guided meditation, and then you journal about it. And then in the middle of the book, you get to begin to investigate what your real true life purpose is. And there's videos to guide you through that. Because I'm the kind of person, when I go on a journey and when I'm doing work, I want somebody with me, just to know that there's a safe person there. So that's how I created the book, to be interactive, so people know that they're not alone going through this. Because the biggest thing, I think, in order to start a journey toward empowerment, is to recognize, if you can, that you're not broken to begin with. You've just cluttered everything up in your mind and in your heart and your body energetically with gunk that you can excavate and clear out and really find those beautiful gems and gifts that you are, so you can be your amazing, brilliant, empowered self.
Yeah, absolutely. Love. And I've got there'll be the links to your site and everything, either, below on YouTube or above on Facebook. So let me take a peek at the time. Oh, we are at the half-hour mark. So thank you everyone for listening, and thank you for Susan. Thank you, Susan, for being here with us all and sharing all of your gifts with everyone.
I'm very honored to be here and spend time with you, Geri. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Namaste.
Namaste.